Yeah, let's do our pre-show. Let's do our pre-show meeting live. Let's go into
That's
all.
right.
Let's go into all the prep work we do. I just want to say first off that I feel I now have a BS microphone as well.
Oh, nice. Look
I
at
don't know.
You've had the sticker for years, decades
It's not
even.
a sticker. It's a BS branded microphone.
That's the thing. No, that one's made by the manufacturer, Niche. I don't know if you can tell.
It's a Yeti. We partnered with Yeti
Uh-huh.
to produce BS branded.
Yeah.
Don't give them free advertising.
No, and let's not get sued. So no,
don't give them free advertising. In fact, Gridiron Metalworks, Gridiron made that microphone for you.
You think I joke, but we've made comments before and gotten cease and desist letters. That's what. By the way,
back in the good old days.
I'm glad you brought that up. No, you didn't bring it up. Today's what? November 5th. Tomorrow is 15 years of Boiled.
Wow!
Oh, look at you guys!
How about that? And we have been nearly sued a couple times. We've had cease and desist. That is all true. By the way, when we make those jokes,
they are real.
Those have really happened. Pretty much.
Niche, were you here during one of the cease and desists or not?
Of course. Yeah, I was here for one of the early, or I mean,
Were you when we were extorted for money? Were you there when we were extorted for money? I think you were.
Yes, you were.
Oh, for sure.
Yes, the three of us, we all met about that. Maybe the person who tried to extort money from us is listening right now. I hope he is.
Yes.
Jackass.
I was definitely there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
the good times.
Happy point, Greg. We can almost drive as a website.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. That's terrifying.
I know. I think the existential dread in both of your eyes when I said, "Hey, is this the first time that you've podcasted about a ranked football team?"
Oh, yeah, it was. It was, and that's gone now. That's gone forever now.
Right, exactly. Never, ever again. Hope you.
The voters are like, "Oh, well, we won't make that mistake for another 15 years."
No, they want to. They want to rank Jeff Brom teams so bad.
They do,
and yet we continue to not want. We're not here to disparage. We are here to run. Have you told? Yeah, have you told? No, have you said who we are yet?
No. Welcome to the Boiled Sports Handsome Hour. It is a beat up on Nebraska. I want to definitely spend some time on Nebraska, even though Michigan State's tomorrow.
The plan for I looked at the agenda.
Pre-show rank.
I looked at the pre-show meeting agenda.
Is that a drum roll, Anish? Did you?
No, it was. I didn't want to actually type into the keyboard because I think everything will shut down. But I think the play that we had drawn up was an ISO for J Money. So here's what we're going to do. After I got my week after Purdue destroyed Iowa, and now after potentially the death knell on Scott Frost's tenure at Nebraska being at the hands of Purdue, everybody's lowest moment is losing to Purdue. I love it. I personally enjoy it very much.
One day maybe it won't be that way. Who knows?
Well, Boiled Dad once said, I don't even remember saying this. I don't remember if it was during the Hope era or Hazel era. It was one of those wonderful periods where they had beaten someone and that coach was like immediately fired. And you said, I look forward to Purdue football being at a state where losing to them is not grounds for termination.
Right, exactly. It's not written in the contract.
Like,
that
if this happens, it's over.
It's over. That's the final straw.
So I think Purdue has advanced to a stage where that's not the case anymore.
Right.
But what I love is that programs like Nebraska, the delusion there is a unique kind of delusion.
Deep.
Right? Every football fan base looks at their schedule, right, and thinks, whether they admit it or not. Oh, someone's getting paged.
I am.
That's they look at it and they say, "That's a win. There's a win there. Okay, that team, we're going to beat them. That's a win." Okay. What Nebraska does though is they still attribute those like who we're going to beat and who we should lose to, and what's inexcusable to lose to, on their own weird set of criteria on what they are as a program. They go into a game against, they're 3-6 or 3-5 last week. They go into a game against Purdue, who's now 5-3 and was ranked 2 weeks ago and beat the number 2 team in the country. And in their minds, it's still completely inexplicable that it could be a competitive game. Like, inexcusable. And if you want to say they shouldn't lose to Purdue, fine, you can say that.
Whatever.
But it's not crazy. And
he's 1-4 versus Purdue.
You watch their pod. He's 1-5 in the Big Ten this year. Think about that.
Please hold on. Wait. Wait. I'm sorry. You cut out there for a second. Would you be able to say that again? What is Nebraska's record?
It's 3-6. They are 1-5 in the Big Ten, playing in the Big Ten West.
I'm sorry. Which number is wins and losses? I'm new to this.
Unbelievable. You are by far the worst team in the West. Now, I guess we shouldn't say that Northwestern is not very good either, and they did just wallop Northwestern. But we've watched some of their, we've really enjoyed this week watching some of their both blog and professional podcasting people, whatever you want to call them, who cover Nebraska, and they're in a frenzied state of how unacceptable this is. And I don't understand how you arrived there. Since Scott Frost got there, Purdue is a better program.
Yeah,
Purdue's a better football program. They win
and it's
more.
Not like
they recruit better.
It's wild.
They develop talent. Go ahead.
It's wild because does that mean our expectations for Purdue football are higher than Nebraska's? Strangely,
their expectations are very high.
No, but for us, we've been a better program. Purdue's been a better program than Nebraska, and we're still not rooting for the program that we kind of want. We know that there's like a lot of unrealized potential, and it's hilarious that it's still not. They still think that Nebraska football has been better. It's hilarious.
I gotta here, and I think I told Jay and Anish this on a sidebar, but I want everyone out there who. If we have any Nebraska fans tuning in, I know they love Boiled Sports.
Oh, absolutely.
But Greg, take this to your Nebraska fans and shove it up there. Okay. In Scott Frost's 5 seasons, he's lost more conference games than Tom Osborne lost in 25 years. Put that. Get your head around it. It doesn't make any sense.
Let's compare him to someone unacceptable like Bo Pelini and look at the chasm of you. Bo Pelini was there like 6 or 7 years. 6 years.
You said he averaged 10 wins a year.
He won 58 games in 6 years. So just about, if you round, he won 10 games a year. He won 10 like 3 times and 9 like 3 times. He never lost one fewer than 9 games. He was in the Big 12 title game, and he was in the Big 10 title game. He took Nebraska to the Big 10 title game. Okay? And he was pushed out because he didn't win enough, and he swore.
Can you bring up Greg's most recent point there, Anish, if possible?
Greg McManus chimes in and says, Frost needs to win 12 in a row to even up to Mike Riley. Now,
gosh, and every Nebraska fan was like so okay with Riley being pushed out. They were a 6 or 7 win bowl team when Riley was there for 3 years or whatever.
They won 9 in one of Riley's years. I've been looking at this week.
Yeah, I know. This is a fun one for you. You like this one.
I'm telling you, I wanted this for you after I got my Kirk Ferentz win. I wanted this for you so bad. And
I wanted, guys. So my secret, the one I dislike more than anybody, it's never going to happen. It's PJ Fleck. Never going to beat him again. So
listen,
myself to that.
He got his extension, so either he's gonna get the USC job, or who knows?
Did you figure out what his buyout is on that, or did he write a contract like Jimbo's down?
No, nobody's contract is like Jimbo's. Nobody on Earth's contract is like Jimbo's.
I've seen the details of it. It's very weird. But wait, let me also throw something that maybe you wouldn't expect me to talk about in terms of disliking Nebraska or enjoying Nebraska falling on their face. Take away playing Purdue, okay? You're among the conference elite in your minds, or you should be.
Sure.
They get to play Ohio State at home this weekend. So since they've joined the Big Ten, weirdly, let me think. Oh, no, not weirdly. Sorry. They have played them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and they are 0-7. And they lost. They've not beaten them in Lincoln. Obviously, they're 0-7. Purdue's 4-2 in their last 6 at Ross-Ade against Ohio State. Okay.
Wow. Purdue is among the conference elite.
I think I have that right. But listen to some of this. I don't
Purdue's
remember.
Literally the best team in the conference was Ohio State. We've discussed that a couple times, which doesn't make any sense at all.
Not for long.
I don't.
That's not going to continue.
I don't.
Wrong.
I don't remember.
Keep it going.
2012. This is like not Frost era. Nebraska lost to Ohio State 63-38. In 2016 in Columbus, they lost 62-3.
They could get him this week.
They lost in 17,
yeah,
56-14.
really.
They lost 48-7 in 19. They lost 52-17 in 2020. So all I'm saying is I can't wait for Saturday. Now, here's what I think would be great. I think Scott Frost beating Ohio State would be wonderful because we could laugh at Ohio State and it would keep Frost potentially there. And
it'd be wonderful. It'd be wonderful. It's one of those scenarios where it's hilarious no matter who wins.
Right. Everybody wins.
You want to blow out one way or the other, but yes, either way, it's going to be funny. Oh man, it's
here's the only gray lining, dark lining of that beautiful white puffy cloud is that Ohio State would be even angrier. But I think as Purdue fans, we ought to all be just resigned to the fact that
just take the B team. Literally, just take the backup.
It's okay. You guys won. It's all right.
Sit David Bell, sit Karlaftis, let them rest up.
I would love
the last 2 games of the season.
It just said, you know what, we're gonna do.
Or
this is
he only played Yanni instead of George.
Get him. Yay! I'd be fine. Get Yanni some good reps. Get him ready to take over next year. It'll be fine.
So Purdue wins a game. Let's go back to the actual. So the game, right? They go in after a disappointing performance against Wisconsin. Nobody can call it anything but that. Then they travel to Lincoln. So here's the weird thing. We talk about people wanting to respect Purdue, voters and bettors and everything else, right? They have already been a double-digit road favorite this year, which was very weird. They were favored against Wisconsin. No, barely an underdog, I think. Yeah. Whatever. They go to Nebraska a week off being ranked and are 7.5-point underdogs to a bad team. This week, they're only 3-point underdogs to a college football playoff team. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know that Ross-Ade swings that much of an advantage, but perhaps it does.
Nobody comes in there.
Nobody comes in Ross-Ade. And that's the thing. Vegas knows that. Vegas knows nobody.
Vegas is programmed in that nobody comes into Ross-Ade bump.
Yep.
Or they just know that their farm teams alternate playing well 1 week. But they just did play well, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's sure. The home and road thing, right? AOC is the big. That's what Greg was saying here. AOC on the road. It's a wild thing. All he needs is the hordes booing him or silently watching, which is
the Ohio State game is great. You think
it's funnier? I think I prefer the Nebraska crowd who was just silent. Like they were just silent the entire day, like watching golf. It was hilarious.
They know what's happening. It's like watching a car wreck in slow motion. They know. They see it happening. I mean, and poor Adrian Martinez. Let's keep talking about.
I like Adrian Martinez.
We all talk offline about how we like that guy and we fear him. We still think one day he's just going to put together.
About how
he's had some good games against Purdue. I mean, like statistically in the past, it was not last week, but in the past couple of years, he's had some really good games against Purdue. And it's like he still makes some of those mistakes. Like he is a freshman with a lot of promise, the freshman with a lot of promise that he was. And I one of the things, that Frost was saying was that, that interception where he was kind of tripping and just did the shovel pass, like just right to, I don't know if it was Jalen Graham, but it was that he said like, oh, I pushed him a little too hard to make a play on that. And that's when he did it. It's like, after so long together, you usually see kind of a coach and a player dedicated to each other like that they have communication that is like really good and really clear. And it's so strange that they do seem to legitimately have like this real coach player bond, and yet they have no idea how to communicate with each other at all. It's wild to see. Yeah. And he can come back next year. That's the thing. This may not be his last year. It's wild.
It is wild. Like you said, Jay, the best thing for him would be transferring. There are greener pastures out there for him someplace in a different system. The one thing that I think is Martinez to me looks like a big time athlete and a NFL player someplace. Like if you guys were coaching him, let's pretend for a second, would you have him playing quarterback?
Yeah, backup. I mean, like, and it's always he's got legs, right? And with more.
You know where he'd play well. You know where he'd be good. IU.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see him anywhere. I would be surprised to see him in the Big Ten just because it seems like that's not somewhere, that's going to happen. But like, Ole Miss, if Lane is still there, that would be hilarious. Florida with Mullen, that would be hilarious. Like these are kind of places
I would love him to transfer and just light it up.
The places that need a big swing. I don't know where he's from. No,
I just checked. That's the only reason I know. He's from California. Are there any good programs in California that need quarterbacks?
Perhaps. Could he coach?
Maybe he and Frostin both go to USC.
Are you available to coach, Adrian?
So
you a dual role.
Chris Curtis.
By the way, there is a headline. Speaking of, there is a headline in ESPN right now, a story that says that colleges are paying out $550 million in dead money. This is my dream job. All I want is 2 of those 550.
So every year? Is that every year? Is that an average?
Think that's right now. Currently, right now. And I don't know if that's cumulative.
So there's got to be a piece of the pie for you someplace, is what you're saying.
Just somewhere. Just give me just 1 or 2 crumbs. That's all I need.
Just like $1 million or 2.
Exactly.
Just to not ever coach again. You'd be okay with it.
I just go away. You give me that, and I just disappear.
You want the headset and the hat and a pair of khakis and a golf shirt from that school for like a game or 2.
Oh yeah.
And then you want your buyout.
That's it. I just want it. And now the quarter zip. It's the quarter zip thing. That, one of those that all of them are wearing. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Prom likes hoodies. I've noticed. He's a big hoodie.
He does.
You know what Prom does that's strange? He wears a collared shirt under a hoodie. That's kind of psychopath behavior. That's a little psychopath behavior.
I've always felt like I brought this up before. Flex is weird to me too. He wears super tight pants, a dress shirt, and a necktie under a quarter zip. Yeah. Which you can do, but it's kind of like you don't know. It's like I don't understand what business casual is, so I'm going to put this quarters up. Right? Like,
how sweaty do you have to be after all of that?
Oh,
it's just all of those layers, just nothing. Everything is sealed in. All the juices are just sealed in.
3 guys who were easily very warm, easily overheat. Although today I'm doing a shirt with a collar. But the trick is, you guys know this trick as fellow fat men.
That's a dickie.
It's a golf shirt, but yes, you're going in the right direction. It's short sleeves, so that when I wear the thing over it, I'm never too cool.
Yeah,
but
you look classy.
But I look like I'm professional. Exactly. Yes. I haven't worn pants with a belt in 2 years, but that's
elastic is the new
athleisure,
belt.
Man. Athleisure pants.
We had a discussion.
What would happen if I wanted some athleisure that says Boiled Sports on it?
Well, there's a couple. You have a couple good options right away. Well, you could go to the best place to go is martinvintage.com. I think that's your number one stop.
I don't think they have anything with Boiled Sports on.
They don't have anything with Boiled Sports. I was setting up the store, man. No, I was setting up the beer. Okay.
So you're gonna get your like a really good under t-shirt. Like this is where you get your collar. It's not it's a what do you call what's a round collar, Anish? What's your favorite collar?
Crew neck.
Okay. And then you head to the Boiled Sports not fan store. What am I thinking?
Yes, exactly.
I looked at LBDs off the camera, and my brain completely had shut down.
Find us in a truck on street
on I-65 between Indianapolis and head to the Boiled Sports fan store and get yourself some athleisure stuff like what I'm wearing.
Fans only.
Yeah.
Only fans. Sorry, I don't remember.
Good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
I've never been there at all. I've never.
What do you call it? Only.
What is only fans? Interesting.
Yeah. Jay, did you design this? I gave you credit on the quick cast earlier today.
Design what?
Did you design what I'm wearing? Can you see the screen?
He stitched it too.
I worked with our friend at 25 Apparel.
Okay.
I am sure if we talked to him, his recollection would be that I had no idea.
Yes, he did it all himself.
That the logo, I probably suggested the logo be upside down or inverted or something.
Or you didn't even have a logo and he designed that for you.
Oh, he did do that. I'm sure.
Right.
No, it was a joint effort. I said what I was interested in and he made some suggestions.
And you should buy stuff is what I'm trying to get to.
Yes.
You should buy it.
Christmas is coming. Get your favorite.
No supply chain issues at Boiled Sports.
Get your favorite
until
side
we
piece,
run out of
something
stuff.
at the Boiled Sports fan shop. Did you hear how many jokes I just put in that one sentence?
I was talking over you. I don't think anyone heard it. As a matter of
I don't know if
fact,
anybody else did either. It's okay.
Oh, Nebraska! What a joke! Almost as big of a joke as Iowa, but still
it's so
hilarious.
Great. No, but finally nobody's believing in Nebraska, and it's so amazing. I just love it so hard. I just can't.
Is Purdue playing west of the Mississippi for the Michigan State game?
What?
No, they're not.
No.
And that's why I'm saying it's bad, because they're really good west of the Mississippi.
Yeah, you're right. Wow, it's like fording a river is their magical superpower.
That last bowl game that they won was when I went out to California. There you go, west of the Mississippi. I mean,
I'm seeing lots more. Purdue Louisville in New York City is the big, is the big latest bowl projection, which would be nice.
A beautiful time of year to be in the Bronx.
I saw they could go to their first Music City Bowl. That was one projection I saw this morning.
Yeah, is that a new bowl?
Nashville.
I think so.
Like a great
it's a neat theme. I don't know, but
is Nashville a new city? Has Nashville just start? Oh,
yeah.
Recently
Brand new city.
Brand new. Oh, wow.
Yeah, cool.
We should check it out. We should go.
It's
we
like
should go there sometime.
They do that in China too. They'll just create a city and just happens, and that's what Nashville is, I believe.
Interesting. Yeah. We should plan a trip. Just hang out. First trip.
Yeah. Maybe or maybe not. Maybe it's an awful idea. So you guys, how do you feel right now? The bowl projection thing is super silly to me. It's as dumb as seeding an NCAA tournament field with like 3 weeks left.
I click on it. I click on it every time.
It works
I'm an
every
idiot.
time.
That's what they want you to do, Anish. You're falling right into
I'm a moron.
It's so dumb because unless you know how everyone's going to finish, you have no idea where anyone's going to play.
I'm a moth to a heat lamp. It's just I click it every time and I read it and I just Control F for a few teams and I'm like, why? It's going to change in a week. None of this is real.
Well, and I don't know if this is what those guys do, but like most of the bowls are affiliated with conferences and in some cases affiliated in general with a spot in the conference, like top or second or fifth or whatever, or next available, or whatever it is. So you could just take the standings in almost every conference and maybe that's what these guys do. That sounds like way too logical, so they probably don't.
Right.
But
Jerry Palm, the Purdue guy, he's the only one I trust with any of this, mostly because he puts Purdue in friendly spots, and so I enjoy it.
Well, Purdue in Florida?
I don't know. Arizona, actually, I think.
But if Purdue wins 2 more games, which is not out of the question, and if there are 7 going towards 8, they could get a better bowl than 8.
I mean, it's so strange, but it's likely, the most likely, though I don't know, I'm not convinced thoroughly yet that it's going to happen. The most likely spot after this is Purdue ending with 7 wins, which is so much better than a couple weeks ago when it looked like we'd be stuck at that 5-win purgatory. Now, it's still possible, still very possible.
They're not going to lose out.
Probably not. That being said, going into Michigan State, who is a beatable team, but an excellent, that running back, Kenneth Walker, is that his name? What is happening? Kenneth
Skywalker, I think is his nickname.
Kenneth Skywalker.
Yeah.
Is that his last name? I don't know.
Yeah.
But like he left Wake and somehow both Wake Forest and he got better. What is happening?
It doesn't make any dang sense. That's part of the chaos of college sports that you guys love so much.
By the way, I don't know what made me think of this when you were saying it, but I got to get this in before I forget. A while back, I can't remember whether we were talking about when we were bored with Purdue football and we were looking for questions to talk about. I think one of the things was, who would you want to? There were all these things about coaches. Who would you want to have a drink with? Who would you take in a fight? Who would you play 2-on-2 with? And it was like, let me just say, taking in a fight, I want no part of Mel Tucker.
None of us want Mel Tucker. We all respect him very greatly. We want no problems with him.
Moly.
We will prod Fleck and Kirk Ferentz and all of these people. Do not want any problems with
any strong base that we've talked about.
Any coaches that wear shorts on the sideline, don't want to mess with him. I'm good. I'm good.
Nope.
He's a secure man, and he does not skip leg day.
I wouldn't want to lose if I were his
leg day.
I wouldn't want to lose if I were his players either. No, coach, we're gonna just keep winning. You want wins? we'll give you
whatever it takes.
Old man D'Antonio wasn't going to hurt us, but you, I am very concerned with.
He is. I mean, and he's come in there. He's done the whole thing with transfers. It's almost an entire squad of transfers. Like I think more than half of them are. Boiler Dad. We just started talking about transfers. He's out.
Good idea.
That was it.
He just transferred in. He just went through the transfer portal.
Yep, I'm back.
That was it.
I'm like before. I left and I came back. Now I got to leave again.
There was a guy saying he was going to. Yeah, go on.
But it's a strangely beatable team. I came into that stretch of Wisconsin, Nebraska, Michigan State wanting one win, and I think it's there now.
Yeah.
You're kind of, then there's the Ohio State bye week, which you just don't bring anybody. Don't just sit all the important players. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe run the triple option, see what happens.
Sure.
And then, then 2 wins, aim to go 2 for 2 against Northwestern and IU. So we'll say the Michigan State game, it's gravy, I think, to me. And so we'll see. It was largely enjoyable enough beating Iowa and Nebraska.
So the pressure's on Michigan State because Purdue has now turned this into a fun. They're 5-3 with 2 more very winnable games on the schedule. So there's no pressure on that. This isn't where you're like they got to win this or they can't make a bowl. Right. So there's no pressure in that regard. Michigan State now has to keep winning because they're the first team that will sink out of the college football playoff if they lose.
Pressure.
And we do have to give it credit. Purdue is also coming off of this falls into that 1-score stupid narrative. It wasn't a 1-score game. It was so comfortable. Like, the second half, it was a domination. And it was the best.
And you're within a 1 score. That's just chance.
It was the best offense, and it was the best play calling the most successful running game that we've seen all season as Purdue fans, right? Xander Horvath
makes a big difference, man. You don't realize how much till he's back out there. Holy smokes.
It's funny, like he had the 1 touchdown after contact. He had the first down off the left side in the second half. Big plays. His statistics weren't that great, but still.
Having him as that option, keeping Drew as the backup, and then finally having Anthrop actually a part of that running game. Yeah. I think it gives 3 completely different dimensions to a running game that really, as evidenced in the Iowa game, that really needed some creativity and like new options.
All that said, maybe Nebraska's just not good.
Man, Nebraska's terrible. Iowa are frauds.
I don't expect the same running success against Michigan State.
Can I bring up something big? Just speaking of bodies of work, okay? I don't know if you guys have looked at Michigan State's body of work. Have you?
Regale us with it.
Yeah, but tell
before the Michigan game, their best win was Miami. Their second best win was Western Kentucky. Their third best win, I would say, was
New Mac team, Kentucky.
Rugger, exactly. Rugger. And then you have Northwestern. IU. My whole point is, well, I'm not going to say that they're, this is a bad team. I'm also going to say they're not thoroughly battle tested.
They've just taken care of business.
They've done, and I don't disparage them. That's not my whole point.
In fact,
you beat the teams in front of you. That is awesome. What they've done, incredible. We all want.
That's a big deal to do that. To win every game in front of you, whether you and they were not better than. I don't think they're better than Michigan, honestly, but they played better than them, and that's all that matters. They came back from down 30-14 or something.
Yeah, 30-14. That's exactly.
That's a lot of heart, man. That's impressive.
Yep. So here's the other thing. LBD brought up a pretty good stat earlier this afternoon. He sent it to me and he said, "Are you aware of Michigan State's passing defense?" I said, "I'm aware that they have passing defense." Yes, but they are.
I'm aware they have corners and safeties. Yes.
Correct. Are they the best defense? Are we the best defense they've seen? I would say IU's defense is better than Purdue's right now.
Really?
You think? I don't know about that.
Yeah. I think I'm still here. I still give Tom Allen some legacy points. I still think he's a really good defensive coach. Yeah. I think Purdue is really, really great at swarming to the ball. Aggressive. I think IU is a better system, a defensive system.
You know what's awesome? Seeing Purdue wrap up and being so confident that they will not be making arm tackles, like that they will be actually taking the player to the ground.
Yep.
It seems like ever since I was in school, it was ever since after the 04, kind of after the 04-05 teams, it was just arm tackles in, they're out. It's Purdue is the king of giving up yards after contact.
When Jay and I were in school, it wasn't even that good. It was, you're going to just try to submarine a dude, just completely fly through him.
Dive
like
at his leg. Yeah.
Because the rules were different then.
Yep.
So guys were trying to blow up everybody on every play. And it seems like that's what Coletto wanted. I don't think he really wanted that, but that's what they did. They came in just like hot. Right?
Are we ever sure what Coletto wanted?
Let me get this point though. Michigan State has the worst passing defense in the conference.
Does Purdue pass the ball?
Purdue is known, and Jeff Brom enjoys the passing game. Purdue is third best, in spite of floundering around for a couple weeks at a time. Purdue is still third best in passing offense in the conference. This matters. There's a guy on Purdue named David Bell who is a pretty decent receiver. There's another guy named Payne Durham who's a pretty
good. Hold on. I got to write these names down.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. So Bell is B.
Where's my quill?
Yes.
D.
You have it's a wonderful script. But anyway, the whole point is Purdue is a passing team. Michigan State struggles against the pass. I give LBD credit for bringing this up. I tweeted it out. I even put a typo in the thread, which you guys will love. I completely
paying attention.
Yeah. Well, the first time I did it, I put Minnesota in the thread, which was nice because I was literally being talked to by two people, and I was like, I can't do two things at once. So then I had to dismantle and rebuild the tweet thread. Anyway, so the whole thing is there's a funny picture in there too. LBD did some excellent Photoshop work of David Bell getting ready to feast on a Spartan. So I suggest it. But the other side, somebody else brought this up. Michigan State also is really good at getting to the quarterback and sacking him. We know AOC has no problem with that at home, especially. He's really good at sensing pressure in the pocket.
Yeah, that might be a little frustrating.
Yeah.
That being said, it does look like, so the week before the Wisconsin week, it does look like Wisconsin's defense, like as floundering, relatively as they are this year. Wisconsin's defense, I think, is really good.
Really good. Well, they've got a guy this is what Wisconsin almost always has. They have a big white dude who's awesome. He's going to be an All-American, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
the linebacker. Yeah. And so Wisconsin is a better defense than Michigan State's, maybe comparable to Iowa, but I would say that Michigan State is much better coached than Iowa. That's the caution, is that, as much as we've seen already, Michigan State is a way better coach team with way better adjustments, way more resiliency.
That's a key right there. That resiliency portion is a big deal because Iowa's shown that obviously that's not in their bag.
You paper cut them and they collapse.
Right. And I don't know that Mel Tucker and Coach, I love you, but I don't know that he's proven he's a great coach.
Hey, wait, be careful. Stop with the negativity, bro. Let's just back off that.
This is on Jay Buddy.
I don't know that we can make this judgment yet. I think his teams play hard for him and don't make mistakes. I mean,
Mr. Tucker, please understand these are Jay's opinions alone, not
these are not representative of Boyle Sports and the greater.
But I'm cautious about this game. I don't think it's impossible to win. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be not terribly high scoring. I think what the line is 3 points.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The safe bet is Michigan State and the under. I think the under is in the mid 50s. Like Michigan State and the under is the safe bet. That being said, I think it's going to be close, and I don't think Purdue is going to be entirely played out like they were against Wisconsin. Like,
how many yards do you think Kenneth Skywalker will have rushing?
Oh my gosh,
quite a few.
Do you see Jonathan Taylor running at? Did you remember him at Wisconsin? Do you see him running with the Colts? Yeah. I think we're going to see something very similar.
Walker's not quite as fast as Taylor when he gets that second level, but he's awfully good at getting to the second level. My gosh.
Did Taylor have less than 200 yards in any of the 3 games that he played against Purdue?
No, he had 198. I'm not joking.
Awful.
It
is
so good.
It is a 53.5 over under and a 3-point spread as of right now. And yes, just since I'm looking at numbers, they do allow 300 yards passing per game, which is a lot to average.
But the problem when they have a great, and Purdue's not terrible against the run, no, Wisconsin notwithstanding. Purdue could just anybody that's not in Wisconsin jerseys, Purdue will be able, to handle the run game. I think
the psychological block is gone when it's not a red.
When it's green uniforms. Yeah. Yes,
this is actually hard for me to believe. I was looking at their defense. They actually they average 424 yards allowed. Purdue averages 313. That's 111 yards better. Purdue is defensively. However,
Purdue's defense is good.
However, Michigan State averages 200 yards rushing a game.
Yeah, right. Wild. Walker,
but here's another one that it kind of depends on how you're doing it too. Nebraska, I think, is in the top 3 in rushing in the conference too. Right? Is that right?
Are they?
I think they are. I think they are.
Are you looking at 1835 stats? Or are you looking at
these are fresh. These are like 1995. So these are good.
The peak. But the problem there is that Purdue in the second half just of last week's game used the running game just to eat up so much clock. I mean, I think they had the ball for twice as long as Nebraska, and then they weren't afraid to take shots, crossing route shots with David Bell. That being said, like, it's so strange if you look at the long, plays over 20 yards. There was only one, and it was that crossing route to Bell. Everything else was just a nonstop barrage of solid gains, like whatever 6, 7, 8 yard gains, and that was good. That ate up a lot of clock. And when you're playing a team that can run like Michigan State can, and you're aiming to pass, that's always the danger, is that they can do the ball control thing, right?
I would much have. I mean, I don't mean to sound like a doomsdayer, but I would much rather have them beat Purdue a close margin, kind of a grind them out game, where Purdue comes out healthy than them do what Wisconsin and Purdue, where they start bloodying Purdue's mouth, right? So let's just have them play conservative. Have them say, yeah, we're good with this. We're okay.
And the coverage defense is nowhere near as good as Wisconsin's was. And so I think that's where it becomes like that. But I mean, Walker is so good, and stopping dominating running backs is not necessarily Purdue's forte. That being said, I do have to pull up John's here. Purdue's offensive line.
It's Jan Younger, by the way. His name is Jan Younger.
Jan
Younger.
Okay,
both soft J's.
Indeed.
No, that's not true. I'm lying. It's a soft. I wanted to say it.
Is the middle name of C? Is that also Jan Younger?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the offensive line was really good. Last time. It just needs to buy AOC some time, just like a little bit.
Well,
and
Greg Long is back this week, which is a good thing. That goes a long way. They only played 5 offensive linemen last week, guys. That's a big deal. I don't know how they did what they did, other than the black shirts aren't that good. I don't.
Why do we still insist on using that name?
I'm going to use it forever.
Insist on it.
I'm going to keep it alive because I think it's absolutely stupid that Nebraska fans still talk about it, which I love. Keep going.
When they give up 62 points to Ohio State. Black shirts, baby.
Black shirts. Love it. So the over-under for me, 2 wins remaining in the 4 games. Where are you guys in that over-under?
Well, that's.
Are you going to put it? You got to put it at a half. It's either got to be 1.5 or 2.5.
That's too easy. The half makes it really easy, I think. But just making it 1 solid, and then I'm gonna.
I think 2 is right on. I think Purdue somehow gets.
You can't say on the over under.
I'll take the over.
You think?
Yes, Jay.
They're gonna win tomorrow. They're gonna beat Northwestern and beat IU.
So 2.5 is the over under here. I will take the under on that.
No, you don't get to move the line to make it suit your pick.
If I can't pick the 2,
then the betting window. So Purdue's underdog by 3. I'll take Purdue as an underdog by 2.
I will say, yeah, you can get odds for right on. You can get odds for hitting
teasing. Yes,
exactly.
Yes, I don't know.
I think it's going to be 2. I think that's the most likely. I don't think it's going to be this week.
He slips a 20 across. What is the spread now?
What if it was? What if it was Michigan State and Ohio State and then lose to? It's just all chaos.
It's interesting because maybe we should pivot to Twitter questions because we got to ask that exact thing. 2 different people asked us basically that question. If you could would you rather beat Ohio State and Michigan State but lose to Northwestern IU, or beat those. And now, I think if you have to choose one of those scenarios, you want to beat the better teams.
Yeah, beat Ohio State.
I'd
Ruin
rather.
people's
So I'm going to do
lives.
what Anish just did. I'm going to say I'd rather they beat Ohio State than IU.
I'd rather they beat all 4 of them. What kind of stupid question is that?
Oh, yeah, Michigan
Yeah,
State.
I hate it when
Yeah,
people do that.
Questions are easy when I can change the questions.
I would. You can't make the line even, man. You can't do it. You don't even know how betting works. Anyway,
No,
I
it was the
don't,
way you
but I know a
delivered
hard
it. You
question
just,
when I
you
see
just
one. That's a harder
answered the question you wanted to be asked. You're very
Yes.
much like a politician.
that's
that
about
way.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
yes.
That's
It's like
what
we're in a
I've learned.
debate stage. Like, that's not what I asked you. No one ever
No.
says that part. Just say that part after. Just go, that's not what I asked you.
It would be the chaos year if Purdue beats Michigan State, Ohio State, and then loses to Northwestern. And
That
IU.
would be
Yes, I'm
Purdue,
always pro
to beat
chaos.
those 2 teams and then find a way to not win the division.
I wonder
Yeah.
what would happen to their bowl if they beat both of those. They'd obviously had a more elevated bowl because they would be highly ranked after that.
They'd be
Ohio State.
ranked, and then they'd lose those last 2, and they would.
Well, they
not
would
be
lose that
ranked.
ranking right away when they lose to Northwestern. That's the funny thing. Again,
Would you be shocked if they beat Michigan State and then lost Northwestern? I actually wouldn't.
no, no, heavens no.
Nothing means anything. Winning a game does not mean
I
beating
don't-
Iowa does not mean you're going to beat anyone.
So I'm
I
going to say
want-
here. I'm going to say something though. Okay, so I want Purdue. If I have to choose those 2, I'm going to say, give me the big boys because that's just a story, right? They beat. Jay, don't move. There's a beast.
This is a wild animal who has jumped up on me. Yes.
Yes.
She's being relentless, so I
That's
have to
funny.
pick her up like a child.
But I'll take beat Michigan State, Ohio State, lose to IU, Northwestern.
Yes,
okay.
of course.
If you have to pick, yeah, that's something. She's now sniffing the microphone. It's a dog I'm talking about, everyone.
Sure it is. Now she's kissing him right on the face and sitting on his lap.
Yeah, I mean,
Not a dog.
Um, so John Satterley asks us, with 4 games left, not including our run in the college football playoff, what does Purdue need to do this year to be a success in your mind, and how has that changed from the beginning of the year? I think we've basically answered that, right? I think if you win 2 more, and you're at
Success.
7 going into a bowl, that's a successful
Great
season.
success. That's a
We
great
said that.
season.
We said that in the preseason, and I think we stick
Did we
with
say
it.
7?
We said
I guess-
7
So
was.
my definition is different than yours. I would say if they beat IU, it's a successful season because that's getting in the bowl and getting the bucket. That's
That's
successful
fair.
season.
That's fair. Yeah,
That's a successful season, but you will feel like something slipped away if they
Sure.
win one more
Absolutely.
game.
Absolutely.
You want 2 more wins because they've got 4 games, so you want 2 more wins. So
Yeah.
Let's see here. Do we want to? I was going to say we got some basketball questions too, but here's one from our friend Matt Tripp Truman. He says, and I don't think he's crazy. He says, "Am I crazy to think Purdue will have a player drafted in the top 10 in both the NFL and the NBA draft this year?" He's got another question that's unrelated though, so I'll let us answer that one. I don't think that's crazy.
Let me
You're
tell
not
you
crazy.
guys, based
15
on
would
one,
be nicer, but yeah.
based on one game, one exhibition game, the most important games of all. That's what IU fans tell me about something that happened in the Caribbean. Exhibition games trump everything. So I'm going to say Jaden Ivey is going to stay at Purdue based on that.
Ooh,
Mhm.
bold.
Based on that.
You think
yeah.
he's not leaving after this year?
But
That's
yeah,
what
Joe,
you're saying.
just based on that one game, that's all I'm going to go with that. So yeah, he's clearly he may be here 4 years based on that. I'm saying he didn't play very well. He couldn't. The funny thing is, he's looking to drive all the time. He had one play. He saw a pathway to go and yam down the middle. He was coming left to right, second half, and they kind of knocked the ball away from him. He was like, but he couldn't drive all day. That was the interesting thing. They kind of took away his ability to drive. I think they were. That's very funny. But no, I think there's a chance they could have 2 top 10.
I don't think it's crazy talk.
I don't think it's
do
crazy
think
at
it's
all.
a stretch, but I think they're going to have some football players drafted highly, and basketball is possible. Matt also asks, totally unrelated, but what was your favorite pizza place to devour on campus during your tenure in God's country? I feel like it might have been asked this before.
So people of my era may remember a place called Boiler Market, which was right across the street from the Union, whatever, the one block down from there.
Yep.
Right across, I suppose, from Harry's, maybe.
Is it the place that's Love now, or Love Shack? Or
No,
whatever?
so
No.
Love Shack was its own thing, which
Okay.
became the calzone spot, which is now like Vaughn's. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Boiler Market was the place to go because you could get. They were very, let's say, easygoing in their distribution of the pitcher and pie deals. Let's just put it that way. So I
Good
I
for a
enjoyed.
broke college student. What you're saying?
I enjoyed Boiler Market very much.
AJ's is my favorite food on campus.
EatAJs.com.
EatAJs.com, guys. I mean,
Swing by
wow.
AJ's Burgers, Beers, Beefs.
That was an easy question and answer for me.
Yell,
did say
boiled in the restaurant for food.
Yes.
Oh! You get 15% off, and you're kicked out, so you don't get your food. So.
You don't get the food, but
get all of it off. So I would say the place, I brought this up before on the Handsome Hour. When I was there was Alfano's, which had Alfano's stuffed breadsticks. They were basically calzones, but they called them stuffed breadsticks. And oh my goodness, were those really bad for you. And
really bad.
At 2 a.m, you could eat.
But somehow you'd eat that and then you'd lose weight the next day, Jay.
You'd be like, I want to play basketball
at all. Yeah.
It was very weird. But let's see what else we've got here. So
by the way, Triple X and the Purvis is still the king when it comes to like just when I was on campus. That was it for me.
I didn't go to Triple X a lot on campus. I've done that much more as an alum. I don't know why.
I did it. I went
the
really
same
late
thing.
at night. I loved it.
I really didn't enjoy Harry's as an undergrad, but after I graduated, Harry's became the spot.
An alum spot.
So I enjoy it. Yeah,
it's more of a. It always has been, no matter what people want to pretend.
And maybe that's why I just didn't like it when I was
felt like everybody was old in there.
It was old heads, and then I became an old head. And now I'm like, yeah, let's go to Harry's.
Yeah.
So, all my sports teams suck says, what is the best Purdue tradition and what is the worst?
I've got an answer for.
Do you guys have a worst? Is there a Purdue tradition that happens right between the third and fourth quarters that you two don't like particularly?
I like how you say you two, like you love it or something.
I don't hate it. I don't mind. It's.
Are you kidding? You don't mind it?
I don't hate it. No.
It's so.
It's like you don't, generic. Yes,
it's a fine song. It's the lack of it's. Yeah,
you will not catch me defending it or disparaging it. I don't care enough.
I will definitely disparage Shout 100 times. I think it's the worst tradition on campus. I'm trying to think if there's anything close. I think there's some underrated traditions. I think the inflatable penis being tossed around.
I miss it. We were just talking about this on another group chat. I miss that very much.
Yep.
The inflatable penis was great.
But for me, I'm an American to me, it's one of the best.
That's a cool tradition.
It's one of the best traditions in the nation. And when people come, like I have friends come in for a game, I'm like, this is pretty neat. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. And it's neat. Like when I always sit with my dad with games, sitting with a veteran and a Purdue alum. That's neat. So, but Shout to me is absolutely horrible. The only worst tradition I think among Purdue fans is being around an old person in Mackey Arena being told not to yell. And that one's pretty bad.
You're
but the same people.
Shh,
quiet.
Looking up from a crossword puzzle.
Exactly. Literally, I took a picture of a woman last night playing. What's the crossword
Words
game
with
on
Friends?
Facebook?
Words with Friends
during the game. I took a picture. I could show it to you guys. It's real.
I think. That's. There's a lot of neat things about being a Purdue fan. I feel like, and I guess I'm not pinning it on one. I think the I'm an American is a cool one. I think the Boilermaker special traveling to road games.
So that was going to be my answer. Yeah.
Oh, I stole yours. I'm sorry. There she is playing a game. That's a great picture.
It's great. Yeah.
So the special is for sure to me.
And there was a video up the morning of the Nebraska game of it rolling through downtown Lincoln, and as it crosses an intersection, it's like doo-doo. It's so perfect. Like, we're gonna shove this up your asses.
I enjoy it. Yes, I enjoy, and it's always fun to see whenever it's always fun to see the reaction of like other schools that like, hey, Purdue actually really has a real life train that moves. Like that is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
That's our actual mascot, everyone. Like
it is. It's not Pete.
Right.
People eat your soul. People devour your soul, though.
Yeah.
I spent all of the Wisconsin game looking for strange and odd pictures of Pete that I post randomly onto Twitter now.
Have you seen that?
Melted Pete meeting Melted Sparty?
No. Oh, that's weird.
That's
weird.
It looks like
so weird.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Were all mascots required to be like serial killers, like melted serial killers, like in the
It
kiln?
looks like it. It looks like there must have been. It was a national law, not a state law, because it crossed borders. Any other questions from Twitter? There were a lot of them at one point.
Yeah, we got a lot of. Let's see here. I'm trying to pick some good ones here. Oh, here's one. Boiler Dad, you might want to answer this one.
Sure.
I think you brought it up a minute ago. Bringing Z Young, Body Bowler, says, I'm bringing an MSU buddy down for the game. Where should we go for lunch before the game? I don't know if he's setting us up, but.
Well, I mean, you go it's lunchtime. There's going to be TVs. There's going to be games on. There's football. That's the thing. Like if you go, the one thing you guys, don't, and I say you do miss out on football when you go on campus, right? But you can have your cake and eat it too, literally at AJ's. You can go there. And cake for me is the macaroni and cheese bites. I'll keep saying that. Go to AJ's and watch the glorious televisions, be surrounded, be bathed in the television light, eat a burger, and mercy. There you go. It's an easy walk. Easy walk.
Our friend Dylan, the Bearded Builder, or the Bearded Chronicle, I should say. He's changed his name. He pointed out that they're going to be wearing camouflage helmets. They're going to have camouflage in the logos for Veterans Day. And he said, will the camouflage helmets affect the QB's sight of the receivers? David Bell speed plus camouflage equals can't see it.
Can't see it.
I saw mock-ups of the jersey of the helmets, and I was like, "Where'd the P go?
Yeah,
it's gone.
There's no graphics. Why'd they do that?
You can wear that helmet hunting. That's the nice thing, and no one will spot you. Hunting at night, especially, it's a black helmet with camouflage.
That black helmet, camouflage. It's like stealth technology. They've been cloaked.
Why don't they just paint all these planes in camouflage and then
make them out of the black box?
No problem.
Exactly.
No problem.
Yeah. I think we've done enough damage there. I was asked, Kevin Spry in the sidebar there, asked if I got another yacht or another vacation home for my birthday. I love that you guys have now.
Good question.
This.
Are you going to answer the question? Or are you just going to make a joke?
Nope, it's the politician's answer. Don't actually answer it.
No, you're this bit that you guys like to put forth has now got roots and grown seeds and whatever. No, I did that.
So you're not going. So he's saying he's not going to answer.
He's not going to answer the question.
Really, he's not going to even.
However,
really
what Purdue?
I mean, this guy Kevin's a longtime sports listener, watcher, and you're not even going to answer a respectful question.
What Purdue got J Money very nicely is a win over Scott Frost and ending potentially Scott Frost.
That's a really good gift.
That's a great gift. I mean,
it's really better than his second yacht.
Yachts. There's what's it called when the more you get, the less it does to make you happy.
Diminishing returns.
Diminishing is the law of diminishing returns with yachts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Jay knows about diminishing returns, but mostly he knows about gains in the market. So
and the gym.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, bring it on, brother.
You set that up nicely. I was.
What is your yacht named right now, Jay? Can you answer that one, or do you not make that public?
First Down Bitch is the name.
It's a good name. It's a good name.
No, I don't. I just keep saying it's not a yacht. You could.
Okay.
Yachts are over a certain.
It's just a boat.
It's just a boat.
It's a buoy, really.
He's going to tell you it's a kayak. That's the story he's going to tell you. So.
You can get one shaped like a Boilermaker special. My biggest problem is the boat that I currently have. Yeah. Everyone thinks I joke about it. I actually do a boat. It's actually red, and I try not to buy anything red in my life. And it was an actual
big Nebraska fan over here.
I was really hesitant to buy it, and so I had a Purdue friend out on it. And I said to him, early on, I said, can you figure out looking around why I was hesitant to buy this boat? And he's like, a couple seconds, he's like, because it's red. And I said,
what'd be funny is if you put on the side of it in red, because only like 1/1,000,000th of the people that would see it in Jersey would get it. But on the side, if you wrote in red, the old gold and black, write it in red on the white. I think it'd be hilarious. Because you can't put gold and black on that because it would look really stupid.
Right.
So Yeah, or just call it the extra watery special or something.
Well, his answer was, yeah, but how many IU
The
people
waterlogged special
really have boats? He was like, how many IU grads actually are able to ascend to the point where they own a boat?
Well, just all the surgeons, and the surgeons are literally in yachts, so that's a different.
That's a different class, exactly.
Different class. They're even above J, if you guys can believe there is a class above J, but there is. It's the 1%ers, so the 0.5%ers, I guess.
Man. Anyway,
this is so good because the more we do it, the more it sticks.
Exactly.
So good. Thank you for the question.
I am not optimistic for a win. You two seem to be much more. I think it'll be close, but I don't think Purdue will do it.
I'm not
for a Purdue
so
blowout.
If we're gonna go right into picks right now, I think Purdue loses the game. I think Purdue loses the game, but I think they lose by 7 to 10 points.
I mean, to be fair, Purdue's been in every game, right? I'm not forgetting something, am I? I mean, the Wisconsin game wound up being ugly, but at halftime they were.
The second half was horrible, right?
Right,
horrible.
It was a terrible second half, but I think we can all agree that was just not a well called game. It was not a well executed game.
Right.
The first half, Wisconsin did everything they could to keep Purdue. Purdue played terribly, really, the whole game, and it was a close game for a half. So that game was there for the taking. I will remain on that train. But Purdue the defense has showed every week. I think they're going to show again. There's no reason to think that. And Purdue can pass.
Jay, you've done a pretty good job, I think, of kind of stepping back from the record and the emotion of it at times. And you talked about, if you really look at this as a logical season, right? The Purdue has lost to good teams, right? That's the big thing. I mean, almost losing to Illinois really doesn't count. That was a weird game. So where do you really feel kind of just okay about this game? You don't feel bad about it based on the way you've analyzed it?
I don't think any of us feels bad about it.
No, I feel good. I feel good about this game. I feel like
it's house money, right? That's the thing.
It's house money. And I think at some point, I still believe that the Braum sort of plan comes together better, right? Where it's not, really good showings now and then weird head scratchers other times. There's going to be a time where they line it up. And I think it's not so crazy to think that they could beat Nebraska, beat Michigan State. They won't beat Ohio State. I don't have any illusions about that.
Right.
But
bye week.
But Northwestern IU, like if you could win 4 of your last 5,
goodness gracious.
I mean, it's not crazy to me. It's not crazy.
I mean, 8 going into a bye with wins with 2 wins, or going into the bowl with 2 wins over top 10 teams. Like what is Michigan State? Top 5 wins.
Aren't they 3 right now?
Yeah. Or I guess because the latest bowl, whatever, or the playoff.
We're gonna go with the higher one.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Anish, can you bring up Greg's most recent comment here? Because I think this is So Greg McManus says, it's wait and see for me. I won't be shocked one way or another. This to me is almost like changing the question, because when you're asked to pick a game and then you say it's wait and see for me, does he mean he wants to wait to see what the result is before he tells us what his pick is?
And then you say what happens,
wow.
and then it'll be fine.
It looks like they won, guys.
I will tell you the winner at 6:30 on Saturday.
Exactly. Thanks, Greg. We're a big fan.
Greg's very literal.
Yeah.
I'm picking against Purdue, but I feel okay about it. Like I don't think
Michigan State is 8-0, and I'm not trying to take anything away from them. I don't think they're that good, and I think it's actually great that they came back and beat Michigan, because had they lost to Michigan, they'd be really focused this weekend. So I feel better than I should about Purdue in this game. I think the line is suggesting something weird. I think Purdue's offense can score points against this team. Now, when they lose 30-13, I will look foolish once again, because they only score 13 when they lose. But I don't know. I feel good about it. It's going to be another full stadium, right? Aren't we expecting pretty much?
I don't know if it got all the way to sellout. I think they were very, very close last time.
But think about where they're at compared to 5, 6, 7 years ago. Like they're you don't know if they got to sell out. They didn't fill half the stadium 6 years ago, right? Like that's right. They sold out against Wisconsin. Like that's really impressive support. So I'm very happy the fans have rewarded this team's effort.
Yep.
So
yeah. No, I think it's all level-headed stuff. I think Greg has the best pick of all of the. If we're going to put him in the 4th group,
we'll be fine either way. We'll see. We'll be fine either way. We'll see you next week either way.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything you wanted to mention before we say sayonara to our
Martin Vineyard?
I think Pole Assassin's monkey is derailing the head coaching search for Washington State. I just wanted to say that sentence out.
Let's say it out loud.
I just needed to.
And if
say
you don't understand what he just said,
just Google any single one of those words.
It's an incredible story. It may be the best story. You guys think it's the best story in the last 5 years? Ever? It's the best. It's my favorite story.
It's my. I could not read enough things about this. It's incredible, absolutely incredible. Texas demands the attention is on them at all times.
If you put one more word in it, which because I've heard this in articles, Pole Assassin's support monkey.
But emotional support monkey. Yes, it was. Yeah,
is derailing Watsu's.
Well, someone officially registered as an emotional support monkey.
Was it? Greg McManus says Pole Assassins will be a great adult slow pitch team name. I'm sure it will be soon. I especially, I don't know if it was our group chat or if I saw it on Twitter because there was so much going on about that. I don't remember where I saw this, but someone made a point saying, I know this isn't the point, but like a special teams coordinator, whatever the hell he is, coach, makes $1 million.
$1 million. He's one of 20 assistant coaches in the country that makes over $1 million.
And coordinator, he makes $1 million.
And just every part of this story, I could read so much about this. Oh, college football!
It deserves
it's so incredible.
Tell you guys
this is why I invest in the coaching, in the coaching carousel every year, because things like
you guys don't know this, because every now and again we'll get asked questions about.
We don't need to describe it. Don't describe anymore.
No. This is just an easy question. This is like a philosophical question about college football. Okay. You guys, some people ask, who are you rooting for this weekend for someone versus someone? It's usually they'll try to be a matchup. Like if it's Jay, they'll try to pick, say, Tennessee versus Ohio State, two teams that he doesn't like, right? So it'll be like, oh, it's a hard pick. But here's the easy answer. If you want to boil it all down, root for chaos. We said this, I think.
Constant chaos.
Root for chaos. So that means you're probably rooting for the underdog. Whatever chaos is, root for chaos, as long as it's not for Purdue. Root for Purdue and then root for chaos. And you're going to have
Purdue won last week, and Pole Assassin's monkey, emotional support monkey, is destroying the Washington State head coaching search. It's just absolute chaos timeline.
Let it spin. Yeah.
Bless all of it. Yeah. Thank college football. This is the payoff. It's not national championships when you're rooting for Purdue. It's killing Scott Frost's tenure at Nebraska and investing in stories like Pole Assassin's monkey.
Yeah, so good. So good. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure. Thank you to everyone who tuned in live. We are in perfect timing. We're just over an hour of recording. It's 4:48 on a Friday evening. Go watch some college football. Maybe have your favorite adult beverage in your Boiled Sports Rocks tumbler, and have a great evening until we see you tomorrow, 3:30 kickoff in God's country. Love you guys. Good night.